Reality Al Mahdi, this channel express light. Enjoy the blessed words of the well-guided Imam here on Reality Al Mahdi.
Brothers and sisters of light, Imam Mahdi alayhi salam is sending his greeting with Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuhu. He is sending his ziyarah to the assembly, as well as his congratulations. He prays that the blessing of this day, that of yesterday, and the one from before yesterday, these 3 days mentioned, may Allah take the light of the combined days and pour it around the world until every Muslim can have a drop of this light inserted inside his soul. We thank our elders present in this assembly. We wish them well, and also thank them for all their troubles, the efforts they had endured for the success of our organizations, from men to women, elders and kids. May Allah turn all of your efforts into good deeds, a deed that will continue forever. We send our ziyarah to the dignitaries present. I'm afraid mentioning names might lead up to us forgetting someone, but they should know that we share the same priorities, and that is the deen of Islam and the light of the Tariqa Tijaniyya. It looks like when we speak of recommendations and refreshing memories, we did it yesterday night. Therefore, what we will be doing today will be to enlighten again, after everything already came to light. We want to enlighten again about Mawlana Shaykh Ahmad Tijani Sharif, what he inherited, what he represents, and what was given to him, that is the Tariqa Tijaniyya, to an extent that Imam Mahdi draws from the light source of the Tariqa Tijaniyya to fix the souls. Our topic about Mawlana Shaykh Ahmad Tijani will be a summary of his many privileges granted to him by Allah. Everyone agrees that he is the grandson of the Prophet Haqqan. Everyone agrees that members of his family are grandsons of the Prophet Haqqan. As for the rest, in the domain of Mawlana Shaykh Ahmad Tijani Sharif, what he represents is what the Prophet has gifted him. This gift from the Prophet was not from today, but it was yesterday, as Allah was the first to give it to him. When Allah provides, He does it according to His will. However, when Allah provides, He looks at whichever direction He wants, then bestows His light, so that whoever wants to acquire benefit will have to find a place to resource himself. When Allah wanted this to happen with Mawlana Shaykh Ahmad Tijani, He chose him in ghaib and provided him with two grades. Grades in which, in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decrees, if it's given to someone, it will remain with the Lord forever. So it means that this maqama, if one possesses it, no one else will be able to obtain it. Muhammad al-Ghali, one day he once told Mawlana Shaykh Ahmad Tijani, everything that Allah has bequeathed to you, what if He gives it to someone else one day? Mawlana Shaykh Ahmad Tijani replied, Allah is very well capable of it, but He won't do it. Muhammad al-Ghali then asked him why. Mawlana Shaykh replied with, Allah has given the Prophet, but if He wanted to, He could have favored someone else, but He won't do it. The same thing Allah granted to Seydi Mouhamed, Allah also granted me with the same privilege. Now this privilege, ghaib, are used to two of his grades, as the others are hidden inside it. One is khatmiya, the other one is katmiya. These two grades are so high in level that people cannot really comprehend it. However, their souls can comprehend and accept these grades. But there is another one. If your light wasn't fashioned in ghaib, to grasp the reality, if Allah doesn't help you, you will not be able to understand the haqiqatul maktum. Haqiqatul maktum is someone, when the martaba are filled until they are no more, the one who carries and hides the martaba is this person called Mawlana Shaykh Ahmad Tijani Sharif. As for Khatmiya, it is part of the decrees of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam gave an enormous light to Shaykh Tijani. And this light is needed by every soul and being to become a wali. The Prophet gave Shaykh Tijani a light that will make anybody a wali with a simple spark of this light inside the soul. This is why it is said about Shaykh Tijani that whoever will have to drink in the hadar of Allah, whoever will have to drink light that can help the latter revive its soul, this source emanates from the ocean of Shaykh Tijani Sharif. This decree dates back from yesterday. It is said that every wali, and by every wali, this includes the Khutbul Akhtab, the Khutbu Zaman, the Khawsu, the Mafatihul Kunuz. Each one of them mentioned with their ranks, their functions, and their mission is still called a wali. Allah in His decree bequeathed the Prophet a light that is the cream of the Salatul Fatih. The Prophet took the light and gave it to Mawlana Shaykh Ahmad Tijani. Ghaib attested, to enter into the circle of awliya, it's a must to drink in this light. And the one who can give it to you is the owner, the holder, who is Mawlana Shaykh Ahmad Tijani. So Imam Al-Mahdi could have only been part of the Tariqa Tijaniyya. The reason for this is because Imam Al-Mahdi is not a prophet. He is a wali. No matter how high his rank is, he is still a wali. And from Ghaib, it is said that those who will become awliya drink the light, their source will come from Shaykh Tijani Shaykh. And Imam Al-Mahdi was present when this decree was established. He was also part of those who signed this decree. Therefore, on his coming, his statement will be as follows. Mawlana Shaykh Ahmad Tijani Sharif watered me with light so I can share this light with you. And this statement, Shaykh Tijani was the first one to declare it. As he said, Imam Al-Mahdi will be a member of his tariqah. The elders we know, who don't speak with their nafs, or try to pick sides, grabbed their pens and wrote the following. The awliya will take our word, even Imam Al-Mahdi, in Akhir Zaman. He will be part of the Tariqa Tijaniyya of Shaykh Tijani Shaykh. This decree came directly from God. And the decree of Allah is different from that of a human being. When a person decrees something, he looks to see if there are people who are for it or against it. As for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He decrees something, He doesn't take into account people who are with or against His decision. Allah also decreed in Shaykh Tijani Sharif an additional grade which emanates from inside the light of the nubuwah or prophecy of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It is called the Nubuwatul Azar. This light, when it was inserted inside the soul of Shaykh Tijani, it was at that moment that he had access to all intermediate spaces, making it possible for the prophets to communicate with Seydi Mouhamed sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But if you don't know about the intermediate spaces, we have to teach it to you. Because the life of every prophet in Ghaib, in the domain of Ruhaniyu, or their life in Ghaib, in the domain of Nuraniyu, is different from their life in this Shahada. In Ghaib, the prophets, when they have the need to speak with Seydi Ahmed, there is a line of communication in which they have to point their souls in order to communicate with the Prophet Seydi Ahmed. Now the Katmiya given to Shaykh Tijani, the line of communication used by the prophets to speak with Seydi Ahmed, the button they press to point their souls, Shaykh Tijani Sharif placed there his martaba. This is why it is said that Katmiya is the intermediary between the Prophet of Islam Sayyiduna Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam and the other prophets, as Khatmiya is the intermediary between the Prophet of Islam and the other creatures. Mawlaya Shaykh Ahmed Tijani hold these two grades. When he stepped foot on this earth, he knew there were some who couldn't apprehend these two realities. He made it known under the form of metaphors. When he was asked about the words of the previous men of God who came before him, he accepted their ranks. Shaykh Tijani is someone who is incredible. This is the behavior of a man of God. This gesture of Shaykh Tijani, what I have learned from it is his wisdom. And that is Shaykh Tijani was asked about the previous men of God, and that between them someone said such and such and such. Shaykh Tijani accepted the latter status and rank. This is the behavior of a man of God. A saint, when you arrive, you have to accept the rank of the previous men of God. This is called wisdom. He said, I have accepted his rank. But he also said, it looks like, listening to your words, the latter has said one leg. Shaykh Tijani then looked and saw that he has two legs. One symbolizes Khatmiya, the other one Katmiya. He said, I put both legs over every wali from before the creation of Adam until the end of time. When Shaykh Tijani said the following, he knew Khatmiya and Katmiya were given before the creation of Adam. Speaking about Shaykh Tijani Sharif, why it is easy? It's because the previous man of God will be the first to agree with your words. When people were confused regarding his grade being detained before the creation of Adam, it was then that Serigne Babacar Sy said, you folks still need help in Haqiqah. You see Shaykh Tijani, Qutbul Wujud Allazi Abda Wilayatahu Rabbi wa Adamu Bayna al-Ma'i wa Tini.
Alhamdulillah.
In his statement, he has revealed something about Sheikh Tijani Sharif, backing the words of Sheikh. Allah in his decrees, Mawlaya Sheikh Ahmed Tijani, after this decree from Ghaib, the Prophet continued to accompany him in the Shahada, in his spiritual formation, and by attestation towards him. Only one attestation is enough in regards to the light entrusted to him by the Prophet when he went into his spiritual retreat. Mawlaya Sheikh Ahmed Tijani was given the secret of Salatul Fatiha and Jawharatul Kamal. The lesson to be learned here is that you cannot accelerate a spiritual formation, as Allah is the patient. The letter in which was written a secret Sheikh Tijani was recovering. You see that letter? When you go to Ghaib, you are told that this letter remained on earth for 23 years. It was locked. The Prophet gave it away and said to keep it in a safe place until Sheikh recovers it. Since the moment the Prophet sealed the letter and brought it to the Shahada, to the time where Sheikh recovered it, when you go to Ghaib, they will tell you that the duration was a total of 23 years. Take a look at this secret. It was brought down on earth, kept in a safe place. The owner had to go into a spiritual retreat to get a hold of this secret. This secret was kept for a duration of 23 years. The person given the letter didn't know what was inside it. When Sheikh Tijani Sharif came and presented himself, the senior was laying down resting. One of his roommates went to him and told him, there is someone at the door asking for water to drink. The senior was laying down, and the Prophet suddenly appeared in front of him and told him, the owner of the letter is at the door. The senior stood up and said, where is he? He can come in. The senior entered him in his room. He went on his knees and said, this letter, I don't know what's inside. It has been 23 years since I was given this letter. It's for you. I don't know what's inside this letter. But please, when you find out, help us in light, my family and I. Sheikh Tijani opened the letter and extracted the sirru. The secret doesn't have any numbers. It's just a secret. Sheikh extracted it, a secret in which some words emanated from Salatul Fatiha. Some words emanated from Jawharatul Kamal. The secret was mixed with these two salawat. Sheikh had it, but wasn't told a specific number to practice the zikr. He stared at the secret and hal entered him. He then spread his 5 fingers. He stared at the secret and the hal got to him again. He turned around and spread his 5 fingers. He stared at the secret once more. Hal manifested inside him again. He spread 5 of his fingers. He looked down for the last time. The hal got more powerful. He spread his 5 fingers again. The Prophet instantly appeared in front of him and said, here's your sirru, 5,555. In reality, when he was in the state of hal, Ghaib was telling him to write 5, another 5, another 5, and another 5. He then started practicing the zikr. When he finished the zikr after 3 days, he took a silver kettle, filled it with water. If you know Sheikh Tijani, you know he always sweats. His body's temperature is always hot. It's because of the light of Salatul Fatiha. The assembly used to push air towards him in winter time, and he used to ask if the weather was hot or cold. The disciples would answer, "We are freezing. That's why we're afraid to give you air." He would reply at the moment, "I feel hot." It's due to the hal of light of the Salatul Fatiha. After these 3 days, he took a silver kettle because of the hal. As a lot of people said, he was getting ready to complete his ablution. Not at all. The light was too much for his body. And since water can dissipate light, he filled the kettle with water with the intention of cooling the temperature of his body. He wanted to splash water on his chest, as his chest was boiling. As soon as he raised his hand to splash the water, the Prophet came and held his hand, standing in front of him. The Prophet entrusted him with guaranteed words, but 3 of those will be enough, and that is, "Anta waladi haqqan, Anta waladi haqqan, Anta waladi haqqan." I'm your father in light, I'm your father in ruh, you are my grandson in shahada. Therefore, I guarantee you the Sharif bloodline in you. Now the secret that I gave you, in which you've completed, leave it. You have no use for it anymore. You are a great mystic. The Prophet is the one speaking. The amount of secrets you've kept, no one else has them. Now it's time to let go of all of them. All the lights you have acquired, passing your fellow awliya, you don't need any more of those lights. The person you need is now in front of you. I, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, on this day, I will give you something you can bring into the Shahada. What many have been searching for in Ghaib. As you are the owner, it is not given to you as a reward, but it's because only you can carry it. The Tariqa Tijaniyya, the light of the Salatul Fatiha, the light of the Jawharatul Kamal, a guaranteed La ilaha illallah, a guaranteed Astaghfirullah. The Prophet said to him, "This is my path. This is my flag. This flag is my haqiqah flag. Until the end of times, until the day of Qiyamah, whoever will drink haqiqah, this flag here, Sheikh, you will raise it above everyone." Sheikh Tijani then launched it. A new world order we haven't seen, that is nothing but light, touching the souls and fixing them. This new world order has risen. It was then that Sheikh Tijani launched it. The people Cheikh Tijani first impressed were the mystics of his time. A person will be with his disciple for years just to fix him. But when Sheikh recovered what the Prophet gave him, you could have gone to him for a day, practiced Wazifa, and you would be fixed instantly. The mystics noticed that they used to sit with their assembly, but it was difficult for a disciple to have a luminous face, and yet everyone prayed and practiced zikr. But Sheikh would fix one disciple with a session of Wazifa, and the latter's face would be filled with light. They then knew that what every soul needed, Mawlaya Shaykh Ahmad Tijani Sharif, after Allah's approval, the Prophet gave it to him. Every Qutb in Ghaib knew of the Tariqa Tijaniyya. Every Qutb in Ghaib drank of this light. Those who were supposed to come down last were eager to come in Akhir Zaman and use this light to fix those Allah has entrusted to them. This light is what Imam Mahdi has pleaded to the Prophet. Regarding the mission of Akhir Zaman, Imam Mahdi has been told about his mission. The first thing he was told was that in this world in which you will be going, you will have an enemy, a worthy enemy. When he asked who, they removed the veil where Ghayb placed Masih Dajjal and showed them. He was told the prophets used to warn their peoples about this character, but he will be your enemy. He was supposed to be Isa ibn Maryam's enemy, but since Isa was elevated and had his mission interrupted, Dajjal wasn't sent down. But he will come during your time, as well as Isa. But before the descent of Isa, Dajjal will see you as his enemy. Therefore, he will be your enemy. Whenever you're given a mission, your enemy is the first thing shown to you. That way you can study him and know how to handle him in the future. The second thing he was told was the following: you will descend in a period of Akhir Zaman, a period of which you will find no good manners, less good deeds, a period of which people will be so misled that you will wonder if they are part of the Ummah of the Prophet. You will find people with wealth who will refuse to help those in need. You will find people with power downgrading those who are less powerful. You will find leaders who will refuse to tell the truth. You will find religious people who will accept to be followers of the people of this world in order to become richer. You will find people who will seek Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but will unfortunately be misled and will not know which direction to head. However, when you step foot on earth, your mission will be to erase everything and fix everybody, and make sure everyone is luminous, make sure everyone is kind, make sure everyone loves Allah, make sure everyone loves Prophet Muhammad, and make sure everyone is safe. Imam Mahdi then looked at the Prophet and said, "You have entrusted me with a huge mission, Every prophet found destruction on earth, and before arranging it, they endured a lot. Just after saying the following, sitting side by side with the prophet, Yashkur came, Prophet Nuh, and he said, "How many years have I stayed on earth?" He's speaking to Imam Mahdi. "I was there for 950 years. I have preached the whole world. And I wasn't only preaching during the day and then resting during the night, but I was preaching day and night. 80 people accepted to follow me. And out of those 80 people, only 7 of them believed. And Imam Al-Mahdi, I heard what Prophet Muhammad has said to you about this world. And what's more dangerous is that there will be people claiming to be on the religious side when they themselves will be hiding the truth. And you are asked to go into this world, fix everyone, and you're accepting? You see what Prophet Nuh has said to Imam Al-Mahdi in front of Prophet Muhammad is equivalent to what Musa told Muhammad when he obtained the Salat prayers. He told them to take it back. It would be too much for your ummah. My people were much stronger, and yet this amount of prayers would have been too much. Go ask Allah to decrease it. This same thing happened again with the conversation between Nuh and Imam Al-Mahdi in front of Prophet Muhammad. Imam Al-Mahdi was afterwards thinking about what Prophet Nuh told him while looking at the Prophet. Prophet Muhammad then tells him, "I know your sickness. You don't want to fail your mission. But let me advise you on how you can succeed." Imam Al-Mahdi replied, "Advise me." Prophet Muhammad then said, "You should pay a visit to this man over there named Sheikh Tijani Sharif. He has a basin of which, if he shares it with you, will resolve all of your worries. See this difficult task of healing the souls. If he gives you sparks of it on your arrival, any soul you will throw this light, you will connect him. And if the soul is connected, the person will believe in Allah, he will believe in the Prophet, he will believe in Sheikh Tijani." Imam Al-Mahdi then said, "Prophet Muhammad, how do I find him?" The Prophet answered, "I will introduce you to him." The Prophet ﷺ was the one who built the relationship between Imam Al-Mahdi and Mawlaya Shaykh Ahmad Tijani. You see, this whole thing was once ilham to Imam Al-Hajba during a day of Eid al-Fitr, so long ago. And I never told him of the story. As soon as the khutbah ended, he started teaching Al-Awwal, Al-Akhir, Al-Zahir, and its meaning with Al-Batin, and the realities in between. The Prophet introduced Imam Al-Mahdi to Sheikh Tijani. When they arrived to Sheikh, the Prophet said, "There is something that worries him. He's been entrusted with a mission. So I offered them to come to you. Since you have a basin, which I had given you, it's yours. It's your basin. Imam Al-Mahdi is right here. You can share some with him if you want, or you can decide not to. Nonetheless, I've told him to come pay you a visit." Sheikh Tijani tells him, "The basin is available, the light is available, the spiritual power is also available. But there is one thing I don't want." Imam Al-Mahdi then asked, "What do you dislike?" Sheikh said, "No one will pass me in ghaib, going to the Prophet, without me stopping the lighter." Speaking to Imam Al-Mahdi, "If you want to prove it, Allah has given you lots of privilege, as the Prophet brought you here. But try it and see. Therefore, the basin is available. Imam Mahdi then tells him, I believe the words of the Prophet. This basin, assist me with it, so that I can assist the people on earth. I am demanded to save, as I have to go to them and fix them. Sheikh Tijani replied, I will help you, but under one condition. This condition is, leave everything so I can show you things you have never seen before. I will train you spiritually so you can have a better sense and feeling. I will teach you the realities of God until you can attest yourself. Imam al-Mahdi accepted. Sheikh then trained him spiritually, showed him the hidden worlds, taught him the realities of God, and then pulled him back and asked him for his opinion. When Imam al-Mahdi returned, he looked at the Prophet, then looked at Sheikh Tijani, and said the following words in Haqiqah. Masal al-Muhammad, Nurul Hadi, ila siratika al-mustaqim, ka masali Sheikh Tijani, Nurul Hadi, ila siratika al-mustaqim.
Seydi Mouhamed El Cheikh, Nurul Hadi, ila siratika al-mustaqim. Muhammad, Nurul Hadi, ila siratika al-mustaqim. كمثل الشيخ تجاني نور الهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم. مثل محمد نور الهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم. كمثل الشيخ تجاني نور الهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم. مثل محمد نور الهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم. كمثل الشيخ تجاني نور الهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم. مثل الأليف نور الهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم. كمثل اللام نور الهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم. مثل طه نور الهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم. كمثل النور نور الهادي إلى صراطك المستقيم. مثل الإمام المهدي
This is the haqiqah. The reason why he said this to Sheikh is because he summarized his thoughts. He wanted to say, I knew of Muhammad. He taught me, watered me with light, spoke to me, and introduced me to you, Sheikh. You went in turn and taught me, watered me with light, and spoke to me. What I can now attest is that I don't see a difference between the two of you. Muhammad is Sheikh Tijani. Sheikh Tijani is Muhammad. This is what Imam Mahdi said. Sheikh then knew that the proposed condition has just been accepted by Imam al-Mahdi. Sheikh adds, I will say that you, Imam al-Mahdi, will be a disciple of mine. What do you think about it? Imam al-Mahdi replies, on my arrival, I will confirm the statement. When Sheikh said the following, and they criticized him, he publicly announced that he himself will confirm it. That's why on his arrival, Mawlaya Sheikh Ahmed Tijani told him, I will share two with you. I will share two with the Prophet. The ilmul laduni, emanating from the light of the Prophet to you, making you the one to teach knowledge from ghaib, never heard before. The other thing is the zikr you vivify, the zikrul uluhiyat. I will emit it, insert it inside the Salatul Fatiha, and I will look for the most operational grain, capable of quickly healing the soul, capable of turning someone into a wali, capable of fixing an individual, capable of vivifying one's heart, capable of turning one into a luminous being, capable of helping the latter get close to Allah. I will take out the alif and I will give it to you. Imam Mahdi then says, the way you describe planet Earth, will this be enough to fix everyone? To reassure you, since I, Sheikh Tijani, don't run out of things, let's do this. Now just use the alif. If there will be a time in which you will think this won't be enough, take the lam. But I'm afraid you won't have to use the lam, as the alif will assist you in this mission until you fix everyone on earth and come back here in ghaib with the remaining light of alif. I want to teach here. I want to clarify here that Sheikh Tijani Sharif is not looking for a status by mentioning that Imam Mahdi will be his disciple. It's Imam Mahdi who cannot go without Mawlana Sheikh Ahmed Tijani. But Sheikh Tijani can go without Imam Mahdi, without even someone who's higher than Imam Mahdi. As Sheikh Tijani, when he locks the door, no one can have access. When the Akhtab drank light until they were satisfied, seeing ghaib and shahada in front of them, being able to set up organizations. Before someone can have a thought, they can tell you what you're thinking, know the decree of Allah about this thought, feeling proud of their spiritual formation. But when they saw Sheikh Tijani, they said, we thought we were higher in ranks. We thought we were the closest to Allah. We thought we finished the oceans. But Sheikh is capable of watering us Akhtab in light. Let's ask him for the word. They all took their rosaries and gave it to Sheikh Tijani. Therefore, Sheikh, you have to know, the light of Awwal, he is the visible part. The light of Akhir, he is the visible one. Zahir, he is the visible one. Batin, he is visible. Behind each reality, Sheikh Tijani Sharif is present. So Sheikh Tijani, Imam Al-Mahdi needs him. Imam Al-Mahdi needs to be his disciple. He needs Sheikh to share his basin. But Sheikh, even without Imam Al-Mahdi, what he represents will remain. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bequeathed him this haqiqah, and they accepted this fact, as the Prophet granted him this favor. He gave him the basin for only Sheikh Tijani. That's why, due to his fairness, when Imam al-Mahdi asked the Prophet for this basin of light, he told him, I could introduce you to him, as by the grace of Allah, he possesses a basin of which, if he shares it with you, you will stop worrying. That's why the line of conduct of this mission, Mawlana Sheikh Ahmed Tijani delivered it to Imam al-Mahdi. The souls, connect them to Allah. Connect them in light. We gave you something called Nuru Kunuz. A person who never saw you physically or never called you on the phone, if he hears you for the first time, will be fixed. Imam al-Mahdi then said to Sheikh, "How will I fix a country plunged into darkness, or a city plunged into darkness?" Sheikh replied, "Spread the white cloth, Nasir al-Haqq bil-Haqq. When it resounds, it will pierce the atmosphere and spread the light. Therefore, I give you what enlightens a country. I give you what enlightens a soul. So you are complete. What remains now is for me to connect you. Because if I leave you alone, of course you have the light. You will fix people, but it will happen at a slow pace. Because if you only have an outlet and you're told to charge a phone, if you're also shown the source of electricity, you will be told to leave the phone charger and take it to the source. It will fully charge." Sheikh continued, "So this is what I will do. I'm going to take my rosary of light, filled with hal, and I will hand it to you. You have only one guide, and that's me, Sheikh Tijani." That's his direct connection. And this is how he will proceed to organize the world. Therefore, Tariqa Tijaniya doesn't need Imam al-Mahdi. But Imam al-Mahdi himself needs the Tariqa Tijaniya. Because if Sheikh kept his light, then how will he fix the souls? Aren't there people who preach in this country? People preach every day. But why are people still misled? There is something more powerful than preaching. When you're speaking in someone's ear and he still cannot hear, switch off his ears, turn on his soul, and pour light inside it. The soul itself will tell the ears to listen. And when this starts to happen, night and day, this something will teach him. This something is his soul. Sheikh put this secret inside the Salatul Fatiha. This is why he took this and gave it to Imam al-Mahdi, so he can in turn pour it inside the souls. And since the souls only love Allah, they will have the yaqeen. They will speak with the ears until they listen. That's why Imam al-Mahdi, there is no one in this world who has been misled, and that Imam al-Mahdi cannot guide the ladder. No matter how many times the ladder has plunged himself into darkness, Imam al-Mahdi, with his powers, he can take this ladder in a matter of days and turn him into a man of God. But he will not stop there. He will make sure that the ladder, who was plunged into darkness, can in turn fix others who are in the same boat as him. You know, being misled and then receiving guidance is understandable. But being misled, then having the guidance, and you're in turn guiding others, this is in fact part of his proof. Proofs which are irrefutable. That's the reason why Mawlana Sheikh Ahmed Tijani told them, your biggest miracle is to fix people until they can fix others, as the soul is very difficult to understand, never mind if the soul is able to water others in light. This is why the Prophet said, if you hear about Imam al-Mahdi, Even if ice separates the two of you, when crawling on ice, if you use your kneecap without protection, the ice will cut it. It's very painful crawling on ice. This is why the Prophet said, even if you have to crawl on ice, do it in order to be saved. I think this doesn't apply to everybody. Those who live in places where it doesn't snow will not have to crawl on ice. But the Prophet in his predictions knew that the time of Imam Al-Mahdi will be a time full of snow. Many have said that the city of Mecca will never see snow, and indeed it is snowing, same as Jerusalem. Therefore, the words of the Prophet, even after 1,000 years, the world will see his predictions becoming true. This is the mission of Imam Mahdi. Now remains the character of Imam Mahdi himself. Will Imam Mahdi succeed in his mission if he has help? Or will he succeed if he is watched? The Prophet already guaranteed him. He was told, if you are assisted, you will succeed. If they decide to cross their hands and watch, the one holding your hand has far more hands, and his name is Sheikh Tijani Sharif. Imam Mahdi said, I am reassured, but once on earth, can I have a book at my disposal reminding me of this guarantee? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then agreed and said, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, Inna fatahna laka fathan mubinan, liyaghfira laka Allahu ma taqaddama min zanbika wa ma ta'akhkhar wa yutimma ni'matahu alayka wa yahdiyaka siratan mustaqiman wa yansuraka Allahu nasran azizan. Imam Mahdi then said, how will I utilize this verse? The elders answered them, in order to utilize it, use the secret inside it. That is, Ya ja'il al-hali bayn al-kafi wa nuni. Ya ja'il al-hali bayn al-kun fayakun. If you have this much information, with people reminding you of it, and you have the chance to recite it every day, then you know your destination. You know your awaited challenges. You know about your mission. Now those who can benefit from it are the people who live in his time and have accepted him. It's their benefit. You will never see someone accepting the mission of Imam al-Mahdi and not receive any benefit in terms of getting fixed, conduct, etc. Accepting him means your soul is fixed as well as your heart. Sheikh Tijani told me, I will find every luminous soul of this world and assist it into finding the source of light. Whenever a soul finds this light, it will have one priority, and that is to accept and will know deep down he has been saved. Once fixed, he will have a good relationship with Allah. This is why we are here in front of you. The mission brought us together. I have long reminded you, if this was about claiming a status, The title Qutbul Akhtabul Kabir, which is Bahru Nur, would have been enough. I think Bahru Nur, ocean of light, should be enough. The mission brought us together. It's because of this mission that Allah brought me among you, was born at a place where no one could have foreseen, founded a city that no one would have guessed. And whoever speaks of two words, the third is Seydi Mouhamed El Cheikh. Where is he with his mission? Where are the companions? How did the All Green Gathering go? You look at the video from YouTube, then you say to yourself, Seydi Mouhamed El Cheikh, maybe Allah has given him favors, but we don't have time for it. The fact that you mentioned the name proves the status that he has inside your house. Sheikh Tijani said when light is introduced in time, the kind mouse, speaking good words, will mention it. But not so kind mouse, speaking bad words, will also mention. But if one of the two mention it, they are vivifying the light without knowing, as light cannot be erased. This is why I used to say, if you want light, you will be luminous, as you're mentioning light. And if you detest light, you will be more luminous. Whenever you mention light, even if you intend to decrease it, know that you've increased it. Therefore, this is a mission that Allah has decided to educate the souls. So the mission of Imam Mahdi, if you help him, you're helping yourself. If you decide not to help him, he will accomplish his mission. Now what remains is how we should take advantage of this benefit. We can benefit from it by following directives in the domain of light respectfully. Follow the light only, and know that if the truth is already out, this information cannot remove it. When the truth is out, live by this truth and benefit from it, because everyone should measure himself every day to see if he is increasing or decreasing. If you're decreasing, try to find ways to increase. If you're increasing, maintain this level. When light is introduced, you can't make excuses. You know, on the day of Qiyamah, some people will stand in front of Allah and will say, Allah forgive us. Our parents didn't teach us your religion. It's the reason why we were misled and will go to hellfire. Allah will say, I agree. But I sent down a Quran book. I sent messengers. The Salihin also preached. This is why, if I rely on it, there cannot be any excuses. Now when Imam Mahdi appears, when he appears with his light and haqiqah, saying I'm in need of light will not be an excuse. My heart doesn't have light will not be an excuse, because the basin given to him by Sheikh is more than enough for this world, but it's also enough to water the people who already went to Barzakh before the arrival of Imam Mahdi. Therefore, the light is enough for everybody. This light is enough for everyone. Now what Imam Mahdi can do is to extend his hand and say that the light is available. I don't know if it is prohibited to make an announcement, but in any case, he was allowed to. He was told to announce that the light has arrived for people in need of light. The light has arrived. If someone is still asking for the light, his soul will attest that the light is here. He won't tell you that you have the light in you, but you will know it yourself. Just look at our followers and the light they have acquired. Most of the people who are called kids happen to see a lot of the unseen. The reason why they are not believed is because they say the elders didn't see this much of the unseen. It's not the same. Don't say the elders didn't see as much. You should say it's their privilege, as they are living in a time where seeing the unseen has been made easy. Because in everything, there is a reality of God. Therefore, what we can tell you is that we started our mission. Many challenges awaits us. Many trips awaits us, as Muslims are not only limited to Senegal. But I know one thing with certainty. The challenges we have to face in the blessing of Mawlana Sheikh Ahmed Tijani, I have absolute certainty that we will meet those challenges. Regarding the trips to be done, people we have to fix, before even going, I have absolute certainty that they will be fixed. Because everything is guaranteed. As for the Dairatul Iman, don't think it's only people who are present that are part of it. Dairatul Iman is the gathering of believers. Therefore, whoever believes in Allah, wherever they may be located, you are part of Dairatul Iman. The door of Dairatul Iman, in order to be saved, to acquire light, the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants it, to have the guarantee of the Prophet, Sheikh Tijani Sharif opened it yesterday. He opened it yesterday. At Fajr, one man of God, of which I have transmitted to you his words, he said in Ghaib, during the last Mawlidun Nabi, I was getting out to pray. Then I saw him coming and I told him, you have been here since yesterday. He said, it's because I haven't finished congratulating you. Hope you didn't forget about my words. I have said about the tablet of light that Sheikh will flip it today. And as you can see, he did flip it. I have transmitted his words during the Mawlidun Nabi about the tablet not being switched before. And he said he fears that Sheikh will flip it on January 29th. This tablet mentioned is the names, the light of the souls of people who will join. Thousands of people, millions of people from other countries to Dairatul Iman. After Sheikh flipped the tablet, he then did the following. He turned the tablet over, everyone's looking, list of members showing how it will happen. He then said, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا. He added, The Muslim society owns إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح. The Dairatul Iman owns وَرَأَيْتَ النَّاسَ يَدْخُلُونَ فِي دِينِ اللَّهِ أَفْوَاجًا. Do you want to know what you own? فَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ. Your companions, they own وَاسْتَغْفِرُوهُ. Do you want to know what Allah owns? إِنَّهُ كَانَ التَّوَّابًا. Imam Mahdi then said, from my understanding, you want everyone to gather, spread the white cloth under your watch, and the companions reciting. Now pierce the light, break the bone, and bring Salatul Fatiha. Now, فَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ. Now give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with La ilaha illallah. Now, the one who did everything for me introduced me to Sheikh, who is the great one, Seydi Ahmed. It's time for Jawharatul Kamal. Praise him for me. You see them, you see me, and you. Let's tell each other the truth. The truth is, the tariqah of Sheikh Tijani Sharif is better than honey and sugar. Tariqah Sheikh is really awesome. You enjoy the zikr while the light enters you, while you speak nothing but haqiqah. These past days, I have been told to lower the temperature of my body. But the tariqah of Sheikh, everybody can agree that this tariqah is awesome. Even if you aren't part of it, just come and enjoy a little. Feel the light and go back. When we're reciting istighfar, Salatul Fatiha, La ilaha illallah, Jawharatul Kamal, don't you see how well the souls are enjoying it? Those in Alamul Malakut and Jabarut are also enjoying it the same way. Sheikh Tijani, from his Zawiyah, his armchair, his right shoulder and left shoulder, Nuru Ahma, Nuru Azar, also enjoying the zikr. The people in this assembly, if others wish you success, know that you already have succeeded. If others wish you failure, know that you already have succeeded. The reason why you have this benefit is that the Da'iratul Iman believe in Allah at the highest degree of belief. You have love for the Prophet at the most highest. You believe in Sheikh Tijani at the most highest degree of belief, but you are also with Imam Mahdi al-Muntazar. Your guarantee is we have started 2022 together, going to 2075, following our path, guaranteeing others, enlightening and watering people until Eliyin. With this much benefit, I can only give to Mawlana Shaykh Ahmad Tijani. From what we've done, from what we've said, I will say, هذه هدية بفضل الله منا إليك يا رسول الله صلى الله تعالى عليه وسلم. But Jazallahu anna Shaykhana wa Sayyidana wa Habibana wa Walidana wa Maulana wa Murabbina Moulay Sheikh Ahmad ibn Muhammad Atijani Sharif radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. For those who denigrate, when a mission starts, you have to have an answer. If someone is criticizing you, just hold up your phone, upload a status, and say this. You've heard what I have said, correct? As a companion, if someone is denigrating you, what will you say? Have you heard correctly? If someone is denigrating you, what will you say? So this shows we have proved what Sheikh has said about being a companion, and that is to listen and execute. This is your aim, not to finish. If someone is speaking to you of not being part of the mission of Imam Mahdi, what would you say to him? MashaAllah. Sheikh Tijani said MashaAllah. The Prophet said MashaAllah. Now the only thing remaining is to recite for you Fatiha and Salatul Fatiha as you know your destination. Revolution of lights is only one zikr. No need to debate. If someone is denigrating, upload a status. If he's at the mosque, raise your hand and chant the zikr.
أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما صلى الله تعالى عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Prophecy, prophecy, his time has come, his time has arrived. The one Rasulullah has told us about this mission at the end of time.